Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So, the Boring Company has just held a long discussion about the Music City Loop that they are currently working on in Nashville. And they answered some great questions, and we got a lot of cool info. And all the work the Boring Company has done so far has led them to this moment, and they are just about to show the world how the transportation systems of big cities will look like in the future, and will cost a fraction of today's transportation system. As Elon also posted, it's a game changer. Buildings are 3D, which requires transportation to be 3D to solve congestion. Many layers of tunnels underground to impotently match the many floors of building above ground. Yes, the Boring Company's tunnel system could become the living nervous system of our big cities, a revolutionary new way of building a transportation system that has the efficiency of a subway, but a convenience of an Uber with zero surface traffic jam, and all of that for 10% of the cost of a comparable system. And the Boring Company is about to start digging with the new version of the machine that will be able to dig continuously and with zero people in the tunnel. This will take tunneling and transportation systems for our cities to a whole new level. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in.
Right now, making headlines this Monday morning, the Music City Loop just got a big delivery to start digging the Boring Company's tunnel that's set to go from the airport to downtown Nashville.
Fox 17 News' Johnny Matthews live for us this morning, and he's going to talk about an information session that's about to start in a few hours here. Johnny, what can people get from that?
Yeah, Justin, it's coming up this afternoon. Now, for months now, the Boring Company has been posting updates on X, also owned by Elon Musk, and blog posts on its website. But tonight is where you can weigh in. 4 p.m. They're holding a X Spaces session. It's going to be a Q&A. Now, Spaces is essentially what we used to maybe know as a Twitter live stream, to put it in some more basic terms if you're not in the loop there. Some questions we have is, will the new boring machines dig through the hard rock underneath the surface here in Tennessee? How much will things cost riders? And a new question, how many tunnels will there even be? The Nashville Business Journal reports the Boring Company is looking to add another loop under Broadway, so one from the airport to the Capitol and a separate one as well. We'll be paying attention to those updates at 4 p.m. We're going to put a link right on fox17.com if you want to weigh in. They say they'll get to as many questions as they can. Just simply write in those X-Twitter replies. So we'll be following it closely. Stay tuned to Fox 17.
So the Boring Company has, of course, already tested out their transportation system in the Las Vegas Loop. Some people might think it's just a little pilot project and no one is really using it, but that is not the case. The Boring Company's Las Vegas Loop has already had 3.5 million people through the system, and the wait time is an average about 20 seconds. In one day of the SEMA show, they moved almost 30,000 people in a day. In that one single loop, very impressive. So we do see that the system is working and working great. And when the Las Vegas Loop is 100% built out, it will be able to move about 90,000 people an hour. So it will not be a small amount of people it can handle, as many people might think, because it's only cars and not buses or trains. But because the system is so efficient and doesn't stop at all the station, it can handle an insane amount of people and get the drives done in a matter of minutes, and will be more convenient than any other transportation system, because you don't have to stop at a station where you then have to walk a couple of miles to get to your hotel. The Las Vegas Loop is made so it ends only 100 feet from your hotel, and the Boring Company expect to connect most hotels on the Strip with the loop. And the most important difference between a convention metro system to the Boring Company system is that point-to-point travel. You get in and gets driven straight to your destination with no traffic, where with the metro system or buses, you have to stop at all the stations until you get to your destination. This makes this system a big change in how this will operate and the experience you will have as a customer. The Las Vegas Loop will have 50 stops all the way from the airport to the north of Las Vegas. So if you would stop at all 50 stations with a normal system, it will take about 2 hours to do the whole trip, but the longest route on the fully built out Las Vegas Loop will be about 9 minutes. And the Boring Company expect to have the loop connected to the airport in Q1 of next year. So that's going to be very exciting to see, because then people in the airport will be able to jump in a car 100 feet from the baggage claim and be driving straight to their hotel within 100 feet in a matter of minutes, and will be able to be picked up in seconds. The system has the efficiency of a subway, but the convenience of an Uber, but without any surface traffic jams. So this will beat basically all other transportation types from the airport to your hotel in Vegas in time and convenience, but the Boring Company system is also by far the safest transportation system in the world. There is no risk of driving into other vehicles. It is not affected by weather, and there is no oncoming traffic, and there are no crazy people on the trains trying to mock you. And they have already tested Tesla's full self-driving system in the tunnels, so it shouldn't be long before the cars drive themselves, and this will also make them even safer yet again, as humans can and will make mistakes. And if you want to expand the system, like adding more stations, you can do that without interrupting the current system, and adding 20 new stations between 2 other stations will not make the travel time between those 2 stations any longer. So that is really the beauty of this system. You can just continuously build it out without interrupting it. But it is the cost of the system that is probably the most mind-blowing about the Boring Company's transportation system, because a normal metro system will cost anywhere from $500 million to $5 billion a mile. But the Boring Company is already today making this tunnel system for around $10 million per mile. So already today they are 90% cheaper than the cheapest other option, and are aiming for 2 to 3 million per mile within the next 2 to 4 years. That will make it cheaper than making a highway. And as I just mentioned, if you want to add new stations to the system, you can, and it's very inexpensive to do so compared to a new metro station. For example, a metro station costs something like $250 million to build, as they are very complex. But the Boring Company's station is basically just a parking lot to get people in and out of the cars. And they don't have to build them on the ground either. Some of the stations in the Las Vegas Loop are above ground and just have a little ramp down into the tunnels. And the cheapest one they have built in Las Vegas cost about $400,000. And they can even do the underground ones, that is the most expensive one of course, for just $5 million. So on average, the Boring Company station will probably cost about $1 million to build. So the Boring Company system will be able to build at least 250,000 stations for the same amount of money as you can build one metro station. So you can see how this is going to be very appealing for big cities to do when they see this working great in Nashville. I think most big cities in the world is going to want these systems when they can see how convenient, safe and cost-effective they are, and connecting every airport to this downtown with this system. And people probably don't know it, but the Las Vegas Loop is actually the biggest tunnel system project in the US right now. There is a plan for 60 miles of tunnels, and they have already put in 10 miles in the ground. So they are not kidding around. And you can build these tunnels as they are doing in Nashville right now without anyone in the neighborhood even noticing. You can't really do that with a highway or any other road in general. So the Boring Company can be operating non-stop and building out a whole new transportation system for the city, and no one will ever notice. And one of the big innovations that the Boring Company has done is that they have a lift called the Monster, where this device can tilt so they don't need to build a pit first, but the boring machine can just start digging straight away from the Monster. And it can also be lifted out of the tunnel that way as well. And then the Profoc 5 boring machine that they will be using in the tunnels in Nashville will be the smartest, fastest and safest tunnel machine in the world, as they will be able to continuously mine and have 0 people in the tunnel. So this new version of the Profoc boring machine will be a huge step forward for digging tunnels. And it should start in Nashville here on the 1st of December 2025. Probably not with completely 0 people in the tunnel, but should be able to do digging continuously. And Profoc 6 should have 0 people in the tunnel. And when they have this system being able to do that and just dig continuously with no people involved, then the Boring Company will suddenly have the speed to build very long tunnels, connecting cities to each other. They can build a whole underground transportation system faster than basically anything else and for a fraction of the cost and no inconvenience to the citizens. And this will also be huge for Tesla as well, as the Boring Company, also owned by Elon Musk of course, only uses Tesla's electric vehicles in the tunnels, because when they will be able to drive themselves in the near future, you don't need to hire a driver for every new car you want to put in the system. So combining that with the Boring Company's Profoc 5 and forward, that will be able to dig continuously with 0 people in the tunnel, the Boring Company's system could expand extremely fast, as machines dig 24/7, as they are not disturbing anyone and they don't need to hire more people to dig more tunnels. They just drop off a machine and off they go, basically. And they can just add more cars into the tunnel as demand rises, again without any human basically involved when the cars drive themselves. And if you want more stations, they can just add them without stopping the already operating system. This could just become an ever-growing, ever-expanding transportation system for our big cities. The Boring Company's tunnel system could become the living nerve system of our cities, growing like roots, circulating energy, people, data seamlessly, as they could easily build underground tunnels for pedestrians as well, as they have already done, or tunnels for laying cables for a new and better grid. The possibilities are endless. So instead of the soul-sucking traffic on the surface in the big cities, we could have a quick, convenient and safe transportation system underground. Welcome to the future of city transportation. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.